Okay, welcome everybody to the Lunch and Learn. And this is our June get together. And earlier we were talking about experiences people had with Juneteenth. So that may emerge as the meeting goes forward. But we are fortunate and I would say blessed to have Rochelle Parker exchange ideas with us today. And Rochelle is a trailblazer who believes her greatest asset is her ability to coach women to become a champion in this process called life. Rochelle cultivates spaces centered on connecting women across generations to build relationships essential to their purpose. After overcoming all of the challenges, obstacles, and hurdles in life thus far, Rochelle believes that it is her duty and responsibility to empower other women to not be defeated by the process, but to rise to the challenge of thriving through the process. She has a brand established called Rochelle Speaks, a brand established with one goal in mind: to develop women and men, CEOs, and companies into the most authentic version of themselves. I think we're going to learn how Rochelle is a motivator, a mentor, an entrepreneur, transformational speaker, and a spiritual leader, and feels most honored to be a servant of God's people. So Rochelle, I may have omitted something that you would like to add before you start, and we're not going to be sharing a screen. However, we are so lucky that we can record this, and then with our new our assistant at the League of Women Voters, Emily, we can put it into another place where all people can find it. And I'll share more with you about that. So we got that started a while ago, and we've been collecting the exchange of ideas. Okay, Rochelle. Welcome.
Well, thanks for welcome everybody. You know, a bio could never tell you too much about yourself. Sometimes you'd be like, is they talking about me? Yeah, they talking about you. So thanks, Ms. Pat, for introducing me. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for all that is on here to just hear. And I'm just here to, I know this is about voting and things of that nature, but my topic today is about release to unleash. In order to release something, you have to be able to unleash it. And a lot of times we are holding things, and even being in voting, right? Sometimes we sit among many people and you may disagree and sit at tables and things of that nature. But when you begin to release everything that's in you, you can unleash the very gifts, the talents, the thoughts, the opinions, and things of that nature. And though you may sit at a table with many people that may not always agree, but we can always come to a common ground. Would y'all agree?
Oh, yeah.
You can always come to a common ground. That's what makes us different. That what makes us unique. That would make us to be who we was created to be. And learn that each and every last one of us have something to release into the atmosphere. Each and every last one of us have something to offer to the table. And so nobody's greater than the next. Nobody knows more than the next. And so for me, one of my greatest asset is making sure that people release every gift and every talent in them, that you're never too seasoned. Just froze because it's important.
Rochelle, we find sometimes when our internet is not giving us all we need, if we all stop our video, we might have more internet power for you to go ahead, because you just froze up.
Okay. And so I hope everybody heard me. If you heard me, put a thumbs up.
Okay, now you go back to.
Why don't you just repeat the last sentence? Because that's where it got frozen.
Okay. So making sure that everybody knows that they all offer something to the table, no matter where you come from, no matter what background you have to know that you are being released to unleash every gift, every talent, and every ability. You are not old, you are seasoned. That means that you have been on this earth for quite some time to be able to pour in the next generation in the generations to come and even the generations after you and before you. And so never diminish what you offer, never diminish what you can give, never diminish what you think that, oh, maybe I don't have the goods, maybe I'm not qualified to do it. You won't be a part of any group if you didn't have the goods. And so one of the biggest things for me is that I'm a big note taker. So you might want to take down some notes as I begin to hit three main points. Three main points that I want to hit with you all is, number one, release. So today I want you to write down the things that you can release on this earth, whatever gift, whatever talent, whatever skill that you feel that, man, I don't think I'm good in this area, or I don't have it. I want you to release that, number one. I want you to get the thoughts out of your head that you are not qualified because I'm this age now. What do we have to offer? I got this going on. So in this room right now, I want you to begin to tell me, maybe write down three things. You don't have to write down every three things, but tell me three things that you know that you need to be released in this atmosphere, in this earth, whatever skill, whatever talent, whatever ability that you just said, man, I don't think that would be any use anymore. So I'm gonna give you a moment just to write that down. If you can hear me, put a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
All right. Would anybody like to share? I'll take 2 or 3 people.
Rochelle, my husband often says to me, Pat, could you just simplify? Do you always have to make things as complicated, like bring so much food to that event, or clutter the house with all the things that you think we need, saving all that paper? And so I have to say, I am qualified to simplify my home life.
Somebody else would like to go? Miss Pat went.
Liz will throw out some things, but I may be interpreting how you said it the wrong way. Okay. So what I need to throw out, one thing would be caring too much. Another one would be old hurts. And then this one, I put down decluttering, but it's something that I need to work on because I'm a pack rat.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Janet. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, along with what Liz, just said, I put down empathy. Because, well, I think that's something that is part of me, maybe. And I was a teacher and wanted to be a teacher when I was a little girl, and will always be teaching. I think that's just part of me, and just connecting with different people of all ages, all backgrounds, all, I'm interested in all types of people. I don't want to be cut off from them just because they're a different sex, color, religion, age, whatever. And I like the word seasoned. I'm going to use that. Thank you, Rochelle. Okay.
Yes, you can use that word. That's the word that I constantly use because I believe that it's important that, as Miss Elizabeth said, is that you have to understand that you have to release to unleash, whether good, bad, or ugly, or indifferent. You have to always be willing and ready to release, to unleash. Why? Is because the key thing is that though she said, Miss Elizabeth said, caring too much or pack racking too much. In order to be your greater self as you continue to grow in life, you're going to release some things. And then you're going to add some things to your life. And then you're going to take away some things. And then you learn things from different people being in a group. Why? It's because if I don't release certain things and if I don't unleash certain things, then I will always be in a place of stuckness, right? Always, we are here on earth to always, number one, evolve. Write that down. I am here on earth to evolve. I am here on earth to evolve. I am not here on earth to be the same person that I was 30, 40, 50 years ago. I am here on earth to always evolve. Why? It's because what I'm releasing, Miss Janet says she loves to teach. That's something that may be always a part of you, but that means you're releasing it into the atmosphere. You're releasing it to many people. You're teaching them something new. You're encouraging them in something new. So some of the things that teachers may have told you not to do, or teachers may say, oh, don't do that because that's not going to work in that field of your life. But you come to find out the reality is the very thing that they may have told you not to do, it was the very thing that you start using, and it start opening doors for you. And so though we are here with many generations on this line, that you have to understand that every generation release and unleash something to you, whether good, bad, or indifferent. Every person on here, you've made a realize that you're acting like your mom, something done trail. Like if you hear the sound of your voice or you remember something about your mom, you're doing something with your kids. If you just take a moment and you look at your life, man, I remember when my mom did that, and you find your children saying, Mom, you doing something Granny used to do, or what somebody's, doesn't make it bad, doesn't make it indifferent. They had to release their skills, their abilities, their talents unto you, so they know that in this world, that whatever child, their children will be able to not be afraid, to not walk in fear, to not walk in doubt into who you was created to be. And letting go of one of the other things I want you to write down is releasing any pain or hurt. Miss Elizabeth talk about it. If there's two things that you know right now in your life that you keep holding on, I want you to write down at least two things that you know that you just need to release. And then I want you to ask yourself, why have you been holding on to it? Is it that you've been holding on to it because of what somebody said, what you was taught, or what you was told? Why have you been holding on to it? Why have you been holding on to it? Is it fear that maybe I'm getting too old and I don't have nothing to offer anybody? Is it doubt that you don't think that you're qualified because you're seasoned now? Is it maybe my children, we may not have a good relationship? I am going to share with you that you continue to show that you can be your greatest self in every moment of your life. That when you release something, you can be your greatest self when you release. When you hold on to something, you are not allowing yourself. That's the third point. When you are holding on to something, you are not allowing yourself to be your greatest self. Because whatever's holding on to you, it is allowing you to become that person. It's allowing you to walk in fear. It's allowing you to walk in doubt. It's allowing you to walk that I'm not good enough. It's allowing you to be this person because somewhere down, you didn't release the hurt, the pain, the disappointment, the rejection, the abandonment, the father issues, the mother wounds, whatever has you've been holding on to, it is not allowing you to be your greatest self. Some of you all don't open your mouth, and you may have the answer to whatever problem, but you say, well, what if they don't listen to me? What if they don't hear me? But if you don't release it, you won't be able to unleash your greatest self.
Rochelle, can I build on that?
Go ahead.
So 7 of us spend 5 days together celebrating our 75th birthday year. And and to hear all the sincere comments of people who are talking about how do we become our greatest self, there's fear of dementia. And I don't want to swear on the recording, but eventually people started just summing it up by going, damn dementia. Because some people are helping their elders and it's a rough life and we forget our phone and it slows us down. We were ready to leave Madeline Island and we couldn't find the keys to one of the car. And eventually we were able to chuckle about it, but these were 7 really smart women kind of puzzling, how do we become our greatest self and what do we need to let go of? And, you know, there's the importance of being able to, as you do that, as we release, to also keep your sense of humor, a sense of perspective. I think it's something like, if I don't laugh, I'll go insane. So I really do, your timing here is quite perfect. I really am appreciating what you say. Thanks.
Absolutely. So the word releases, because in order, one of the biggest things that I love is that you have to give people definitions of things because they have to understand that word. So when the word release is, it is allowing or enable you to escape and be set free. When I release something, I'm allowing myself to be free. I'm allowing myself to be the greatest version of myself. I'm allowing myself to be great. I am allowing myself to not hold on. Why? Because every day, it's like when you work out, you're releasing energy, you're releasing all of that is coming. And then what happens? You got all this energy in the world. You got everything. When you eat the right foods and the healthy foods, what is it done? Is releasing something to you. It's giving you the energy that your body needs, right? So when you release something, you have to understand is that it's freeing you from it. It frees you from it. Letting go of the fear of dementia. And I want you to begin to change your verbiage, because a lot of times, and this people don't understand, when you unleash something, you're releasing it from a leash or a restraint. It's something that's causing you to restrain that thing. It's something that's causing you to be restrained from it. What is it? Most of everybody, as Miss Pat said, you celebrated 75, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when you get to an age, a lot of times all these things of society and the world be like, you're going to deal with this and you're going to deal with that. Because what happens is it deals with your belief system. The question you need to ask yourself, what are you going to believe about it? Are you going to believe what society and what they say? Or are you saying, what can I do? Because yeah, I'm 75, right? And I can share this story with you all. My mom, she was another mother. She practically raised me, so she was mom. She passed 3 months ago.
Oh.
I'm sorry to
And
hear.
she was very dear to me. I
Mm.
mean, and she was in y'all age bracket. She was in her 70s. And that was my go-to person. That was the person that I went to, right? And today, as I'm we going on, and for her birthday is actually next month, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is still fresh, okay? But I had to learn that in the midst of releasing her, in the midst of saying she lived a good life, I had to believe and I had to make a decision to not say that I won't feel the pain and hurt, not say I won't miss her, but I had to make a conscious decision to say, my mother lived a good life and she taught me everything that I needed to know on this earth.
Yeah.
And though she may not be here, she did a darn good job
Mm-hmm.
as putting the things in my life. Why? It's because I had to remember what she taught me and I released it. And I said, oh, she taught me this. Let me cook it this way. Let me do it this way. It's because she taught me things. And you hold dear to things that people teach you. And so whatever you release unto a person, relationship, Whatever you release, you make sure you make it a darn good impression on them. Because when they leave your presence, when they go on to their life, they can say, oh, Miss Janet taught me this when I was here, and she said this to me. Miss Pat gave me some extra food because I was hungry, and we know she got. And sometimes you may say, oh man, I don't want to bring that extra food, but we don't know who may need that extra food. We don't know who may get. Miss Elizabeth talking about, well, maybe I just care too much. But sometimes we need somebody, Miss Elizabeth, like you to care too much. Sometimes we need somebody to just go the extra mile. Sometimes we need somebody just to check up on us. Sometimes we need that. And the things that you may say is a deficient, it's a sufficient for somebody else. So I never want you to look at your things as a deficient. I want you to look at how you can maybe do better in it, maybe create boundaries in it, maybe may not do it too much, but create that boundary, right? So what are we saying? What you need to release? What are you holding on to? And the last point is that when you don't release, you're denying yourself of being your greatest self, right? And when you release, you become to be your greatest self. So yeah, you might be 75, but let me say this. Y'all look good to be 75. He said, think of the good things, right? You know, all of you are moving, you are having your being, you are breathing, you are this, and you're moving. Why? It's because you are becoming your greatest self. It's not about what they say and how they say it, because all throughout our all lives, somebody has told us, taught us, and spoken over our lives. Your words, I want you to write this down. Your words are the most powerful thing that you can speak. And what you speak and what you release in the atmosphere, that's what you become. But when you begin to change your speech, and when you begin to say, my mind is clear, I think clear, I know what they say, my mind is good, I have a healthy mind, my mind think better, I don't think this way, I don't speak this way, I know what they say, but I'm going to eat my fruits, my veggies, because we know that our body is made to heal itself. So though they may say when you get to a certain age, I know many people that's 75 and they ain't losing it. I don't see none of you losing it. So you have a sound mind. You are great. You are phenomenal. You are amazing. You have great intellect. If that wasn't the case, y'all wouldn't be on women voters. You wouldn't be able to give other people opportunities to be able to come over here and speak and tell you, release, don't restrict your greatness. Be great, because I believe that seasoned people are important. You are important. You are kind, as the movie helps say, you are kind. You are important. And so please stop not making yourself believe that you're not important because of the age that you are in. Please stop saying, man, they said we're going to get them. No, whatever you speak in the atmosphere, that's so what you will become. But let me leave y'all with this gutter punch. Stand strong, be strong, and speak strong, and be your greatest self.
Thank you. Okay, so I just wrote it down. Stand strong, be strong, and be your greatest self. Speaks. Repeat it, Rochelle. You gave us 3 good sentences.
Stay strong, be strong, and be your greatest self.
Mm-hmm.
In whatever arena that you're in, being a grandmother, being a wife, being a teacher, being a tutor, whatever, be your greatest self in any arena of your life. A mother, a auntie, the favorite auntie, whatever shoe you wear in that moment, you mark yourself in that moment and be your greatest self.
It's really cool.
Mark the moment, right? Mark the moment. Mark the moment. Sometimes marking your moment is not always speaking. Sometimes, as Miss Pat caring for somebody, Miss Elizabeth caring for somebody, Miss Janet teaching somebody, it is your greatest moment. The greatest moments is not always being seen. Some of your greatest moments is being unseen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So take every moment and be your greatest self. Mark the moment. Mark the moment every time in your life. Mark the moment, whether being a grandmother, auntie, mark the moment. cherish this moment and give them your greatest self. Good, bad, or indifferent. Tell them the stories. Sometimes you don't want to tell them. Make them laugh. Tell them how you was, what you used to be. Tell them how you used to do things. That does not diminish the things that you have been through, the things that you have overcame, and the things that you have endured in life. Whether they listen or not, mark the moment, because when you think they're not listening, they are listening. Mark the moment.
Two things that you're speaking of bring a memory to me. One was inspired by Liz also talking about forgiveness, letting it go. And I went through a difficult divorce and I held on to my anger for a while. And then I was in church and the minister was saying, the power of forgiveness is that you free yourself. The other person who is causing harm doesn't need to say, I'm sorry. But when we choose to forgive without an apology, without conditions, we have reclaimed our power. And I really found that to be true. I was really grateful for that message. Another came up in a sermon too, which is you are not your job. So much of our identity is tied up in what we have done for our career or our work. And that helped me decide to retire, hoping that they would hire a full-time person to replace me when I left after 39 years at MATC. I thought if I retire now at age 70, that's making a space for a full-time worker, faculty to come in. Sadly, it took 3 part-timers and they got underpaid and overworked. So, but it's still important to make space for new talent and other people to teach the courses that are important courses. So you are not your job and you can forgive without an apology because it gives you back your power. Have you had a direct experience, Rochelle, where you went through something and decided, I'm not my job, I am all of the above? I am more than my career.
Yes, I've always been, and it's funny, ever since I was a little girl, I always had the attitude is that I am paying the way for other people.
Mhm.
I am paying the way for other people. That's, sometimes when people get to a certain place in their life, they don't want to let nothing go. You are not letting go of you to be your greatest self in any sector of life.
Mhm.
When a job is done, let it go, move on. And the hardest thing is for people to do is let go. Why? Is because sometimes it's a rooted issue. You got to get to the root in order to see the fruit. And so in my life, I've always said to myself is that I'm paying the way for somebody else. I can let this go. I can be great in other aspects. So many people think they are bound to one thing in life, but when God made us, He made us multifaceted, right?
Mhm.
So this week you may be a teacher, you may be a grandmama day, you're going to be different things in different spaces. And so be your greatest self. And so for me, just being able to leave a job, right? For me, that's great for me to be able to leave a job and to give somebody else that space to be able to grow. I've grown. So now I want to leave it to somebody else to grow.
Mhm. Yep.
Right? You guys are paying the way for generations before you and after you because you're allowing them to learn and grow at the same time. You're
Mhm.
allowing that. So for me, and it's funny because I graduated from MATC. So
Oh, cool.
hey, Lonnie. And so it is important to me to let go. Was it always easy? No, nothing is always easy, but it becomes easy when you begin to just let things go. You
Mhm.
don't need, as Miss Pat said, you don't need nobody to apologize to you because what it does to you when you're holding on to things, it damages you. It makes you start dealing with your physical body as well, sickness, disease, because people don't put that together because it's still in their heart. Going through divorce, it's not always easy because you don't sign up to get divorced. Nobody does. You get married, you're not saying, oh, I'm gonna get a divorce from this person. Nobody does. But it's important that as you release, because as they say, you can't make nobody stay with you. If they don't want to stay, you can't make them stay. But it's better for you to release so you and that individual can be your greatest selves.
Mhm. So I have
To
another
be your
question.
greatest self.
I have another
Go ahead.
question for you, Rochelle. So I was listening to a show and it was talking about ambition. And they were saying you want to have a balance when you have ambition. So I have a son who is very comfortable, low wage earner, but he works for food co-op. He works for River West. And I said, well, Gib, what is your ambition? I was kind of nudging him like, don't you want to get a job that has more benefits? And don't you want to start thinking about getting a pension and that stuff? He said, oh, Mom, my ambition is to build community. And I said, oh, that's great. That's great. You'll find the way. You'll find the way. But we can be ambitious in different ways. But again, what are your thoughts about people being ambitious?
My thought is like your son is a great example. Sometimes we are trying to force what we think and believe on somebody else and how they should live and the way they should live. I believe it's great to give them principles, but sometimes I'm gonna switch it for just a moment. Is that a person, that's their ambition right there, is to build community. That's where they're being their greatest self. That's where things are going on for them. And so those sometimes, for me, I have a shirt. I have a shirt that I did a long time ago, and the saying is called "Chase purpose and not the dream."
Mm.
Chase the purpose and not the dream. Why? It's good to dream. It's good to have aspirations. Nobody's knocking that. But I need you to know that your greatest thing is not chasing the dream, but your greatest is to be purposeful in greatness in life, to
Mhm.
fulfill your purpose. Because that's the question most people ask themselves. Why am I here on this earth? What am I doing? Who am I? What have I got to do? And a lot of times we are chasing the dream, we're chasing the money, we're chasing things. And what you come to find out is that through all that ambition of chasing the dream, you was never satisfied. You never had the peace that you wanted. You ever hear the stories, and I know you guys have, they have all the money in the world, but they don't have the peace. They don't have the joy. They don't have it because it's an inner thing. It's not an outer thing. And when we come to realize in life that we was created to not just chase a dream, but to have peace, love, and joy and happiness, you will come to find out that everything that you've been looking for has already been inside of you. That's why you see most CEOs say, man, I got all the peace in the world now. I let this go. I let that go. I don't need that no more. I can live frugal. I can live this. Yeah, I got the money in my account, but I can live. Catch this. This is one of my sayings. I want you to write this down. I want to live in peace and not in pieces.
Mm.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good one.
Can you repeat that? You want to live in peace, but not
But
what?
not in pieces.
Not in pieces.
Got it.
Because all of us have different pieces, right? So they got a piece of me here. I'm stressed over here. I'm tired over here because I'm chasing this and I'm working long hours and I got to do this and they did it. And that's Miss Elizabeth. She laughing because sometimes that over caring does that to you. I got to take care of this. I got to do this. And a lot of times you have to create the boundaries, but never allow a boundary to become a wall. There's a difference
Another good
between
one.
boundaries
You know,
and walls.
that's very true because I just came to visit for my son in Minneapolis and his fiance, and he said some stuff, and I said, oh, he's much happier in Minneapolis than he was in Milwaukee. And it was hard for me just because Milwaukee has been my home my whole life, but there were reasons, and he's very active. He finally found his niche. He's in environmental science. He works for the water department in testing, and now they're doing some research in mussels and the problem mussels are, causing in the water supply and things like that. But I had talking to you, I had to put back, I don't see him as a 30-year-old man. I keep thinking of him as that 17-year-old boy who went to college in Minnesota and didn't come back, you know? And I have to realize, hey, he's an adult and he does have very good values. I'm very lucky that way. And he, you know, he has, you know, he helped with that when that whole George Floyd happened. He was one of the people that was protesting to get changes in the police department and things like that. And I am very proud of him, but I have to just accept that now Minneapolis is his home. He's not going to come back to Milwaukee, and that's fine. You know, I can let that go. He still loves his family. He loves us. And sometimes it's hard for a mother to let go. And for me, it was, you know, but now listening to this, I said, you know, he's a great kid, so let it go. You know, he's going to stay there. He's going to make a life there. And that's great. You know, so that has helped me, because I was feeling a little blue coming home. I thought, well, you know, you keep sort of a little hope that maybe he'll find a job here and move back. No, this is his life. And that's what I've got to accept.
Yes.
Well said, Christine.
There you go. And the
And-
first word you just said was accepted. We
Yeah.
have to, as parents, all of you, I can probably have you, our parents on here. You have to remember this. Each and every last one of us has a journey. And our journey has a journal.
Yeah.
You got to write that down. Your journey has a journal. And your children has a journal to their journey. And so you have to be sure enough. You know, the Bible says in one of my famous scriptures, train a child up in the way it should go, and it should never depart from you. Why? It's because whatever you instilled in your children, no matter what they do, whether they did stuff misrepresenting you or anything of that nature, they are held responsible every time. Why? Because they're adults now. And so every child that you ever have, they have a journey to their journal. And you are still writing your journey to your journal. Because as long as you're still breathing, as long as you still have breath in your body, you still have a journey to your journal.
And this is my nephew that Chris is talking about. And I think Chris can be so, how can I say, so proud of the pieces that fit for James, her son, and how she really nurtured those qualities that he has now. And even though I know you miss him very much, I think you can be very proud of yourself for nurturing him in the direction that he went, and to see him be such a wonderful young man. He's,
Yeah.
you know, I'm just so proud of him as an aunt. I'm so proud of him too.
That's cool. So,
Rochelle,
yeah, good.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to go back to something you said earlier. And if you're getting it from the same place, I'm adding to it. And so you may be pulling from something else, but I was thinking about Saturday Night Live and Stuart Smiley. I'm good enough. I'm kind. I'm important. And that's enough.
Yes, I got that from the movie called The Help.
Oh, I remember that.
She was
Yeah.
talking to the baby girl, and she said, "You're good, you're smart, you're beautiful." And she began to speak life. This is so important, to speak life to yourself every day. That even when you have the moments, catch this, every day is a moment, but it's not a memory.
And
It's
just
a moment.
I was going to say, and just a reminder, there is, as they say, we'll take it back to the Bible, there is nothing new under the sun. There's a quote that for years I thought a faculty member at MATC had coined it, only to find out he got it from Martin Luther King. But he didn't give him the attribution.
And you give credit where credit is due. Just like anything, we learn something from each other. And say, man, Miss Mary Ellen, she said that about such and such. I got that from her. You know, and even if you don't ever get the credit, just know that you matter. You matter on this earth.
I want to add one more thing. You mentioned boundaries earlier.
Mhm.
And I'm going to do a flip from where you were going. And obviously, this is my bias. I think as individuals, we need to remember that everyone isn't allowed in our private space.
Mhm.
This gets into our worthiness. And, you know, we might have connected 5 years ago, but as we talk about evolving, now our interests aren't the same. And so I'm not going to knock what we had before, but recognize that I'm exploring other options at this point.
Mhm.
And that's another thing too. I teach many people this. Just because you've been knowing people for 20 to 30 years, what you did 20, 30 years ago is not who you is today. You have to be okay with evolving because we evolve every day. You may thought some one way, but you're not thinking this way today. So as Miss Elizabeth said, be okay to let old relationships go too. Because sometimes it doesn't mean that you don't love the individual. It doesn't mean that you don't care for the individual. It doesn't mean that you can't call the individual every now and then. But when you are moving in different spaces, as she said, your interests become different. What you used to love become different. Because I'm sure at 30, y'all not doing what you did at 30 at 75. I'm 110 sure. So you have changed over the years. And so it's okay to let go of things so you can grow. Go so you can grow.
So a few of you haven't had a voice yet, and I would really encourage you to speak your truth. I think Rochelle has given some inspirational prompts for us, and as people of wisdom, and Gerald, I'm including you. I would really appreciate hearing you share some of that wisdom or share the knowledge as you've gone forward as a tribute to Rochelle.
All right.
Oh, I might, yeah, go ahead, Barbara.
Oh, you go.
Well, I was just gonna say today is just it's been helpful to listen to this because for me today hasn't been a very good day. So it's been helpful in terms of feeling better about things. So I'm just having one of those days.
Mhm.
So
Amen, sister.
yeah, so
Mhm.
anyway, I appreciate it though.
Mhm. And Barbara?
I keep trying to get my head wrapped around a way to enter into this. I wasn't sure what your question was about releasing. The first thing I wrote down was when I released the idea that I don't have anything to offer. That's been always my life. I always envy people who were told by parents or wherever that you can be anything you want to be. The message I got was you're not good enough. We're just farmers. We can't do this. You can't do that.
Right.
So it was, hard to overcome that. And I recently looked at some old papers, evaluation of my seminary internship. And I had this in my head that my supervisor had not particularly liked my preaching. And I reread this thing and I went, he did. He said I was a good preacher. The only thing he said on there was Barbara lacks confidence.
Oh, my goodness.
Gosh.
And, and then I found something else where, she lacks confidence. And that's true. That's always, I've always felt that too, just not enough anyway. So, I've gained on that tremendously over 70 years, 73. But I always want to release more of that idea that I don't have anything to offer. So that's where I continually work. Try to offer what I do have.
Yeah. And I think Gerald unmuted. Gerald, would you like to share a point of view or exchange?
Well, just basically, you can only do your best and you can only do what you can do. You can't, you know, you can't be Christ because he already took the job.
I wouldn't want.
Thank you, Gerald.
Oh,
Gerald, I want to say, I believe 10% of our membership, and Mary Ellen could help me on this, but I do believe 10% of our membership is men. And I
I'm
always
not
think
sure.
these are the most secure men who
Right,
are not
that's
saying, you got to change your name. It shouldn't be called the League of Women Voters. But no, you're just
No.
secure and sharing the job of empowering democracy and defending the people who wish to vote, making it easier to have a society that shares the common good. So
How
just
can
wanna
you,
tell
how
Go
can you
ahead.
possibly get all points of view together? You know, I guess one of the reasons I have no problem with being part of the League of Women Voters is the fact that what you are striving to do, I certainly have to agree with, because I married a woman who's got a heck of a lot more ability than I do, which doesn't make me any less. It just means that she's got those gifts, I've got mine, and away we go.
Yeah,
Mhm.
away we go. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I've often told people, we don't agree on everything, but watch out if we do, because nothing's going to stop us.
Oh,
Mhm.
oh,
That's good, Gerald.
great. Melissa, I
That's
don't know if you're in a situation where you can unmute and share an idea. Melissa helps add diversity to the league because she's one of our younger leaders in the league.
Thank you, thank you. I don't feel that young. I am almost
Okay.
38.
Oh my gosh, a baby. Oh my God.
But I actually joined late, so I don't think that I feel comfortable or confident in any statement since I didn't really hear any of the prompts. I just got the tail end of it. But
Sure.
thank you for inviting me to participate, Pat, and thank you, Rochelle, for joining us.
And thank you for all your work, Melissa.
Absolutely.
Oh, my goodness. We are
Goodness.
truly
You're
gifted
welcome.
to have your presence.
Yes.
glad you could come, Melissa.
Thank you, Janet.
Well, I think we're nearing the end of our time together, and I told Rochelle often during these meetings, we do share upcoming events with the League of Women Voters. And so, Mary Ellen, would you just repeat again what we're doing with the League Cafe? And then I'll ask Elizabeth, or Liz, as I call her, to share a bit of how we're doing with our diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI work. And anyone else who wanted to chip in ideas and thoughts about what matters to us as a group of people.
Well,
Miss Pat, before I'm
oh,
sorry,
go
Miss
ahead.
Pat,
No, no.
before she speak, can I just tell you about two things I have going on right now that you guys can come up
Absolutely.
and okay. Because I gotta jump off and go to the next thing.
Sure.
Two things. I have a Fathers to a King event that is going on this Saturday from 3 to 9. It is at the Glendale Community Park. If you would like to come, it is free food and it's food, fun, and family. This is this weekend. I know so many people say they got a lot of stuff going on, but this weekend at 2200 West Bender Road, Glendale, Wisconsin, 53209. It is at the community park. It is from 3 to 9. And so you guys can come through. We're doing free food and they have a concession stand there with people, you know, the food that we give in, they want to get more snacks and things of that nature. The other thing that I have going on, it's called Unleash the Kingdom Woman. This is for women. I'm putting my website in there.
Mhm.
So
Are you putting it in the chat? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, I'm putting it in it. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great.
I'm putting it in the chat. It's called RochelleSpeaks.co. And you can go to the word services on there. And if you would like to sign up, because it starts this Sunday. So it's a 9-month series where I teach and train women. We deal with mind health and things of that nature. I teach you how to read labels and things of that nature when you're eating the certain foods that helps with your body and things of that nature, inflammatory mucus. We go to the depths of everything. So it's RochelleSpeaks.co, not .com. Because if you put .com on there, you won't find me. But if you put .co, you will find me. Also, if you want to learn more information, and I'll send it to Miss Pat in email as well.
Mhm.
This tomorrow, no, yep, Wednesday. On Wednesday, I have an informational session. If you want to learn more about Unleashing the Kingdom Woman, that session will start at 6:30 to 7 p.m. No, 6 to 7:30 p.m. I'm sorry, 6 to 7:30 p.m. So if you would like to come and you know other women, I have many different ages of women that are a part, and so it begins this Sunday. It's 7 days for each month for 9 months. It's a 9-month series, and we do 7 days per month. And we meet and we talk and we discuss, and it's building community with other women, building the relationships and things of that nature. And so I really dive in principles, laws, and things of that nature for yourself and day to day. And so if you want to know more information, I will send the flyer to Miss Pat, and you
Great.
can hop on the Zoom from 6 to 7:30 tomorrow
So
or
is that
Thursday. I think it's
is that
Thursday.
related to RochelleSpeaks.co or is it separate?
Nope, that Unleashing the Kingdom Woman is with RochelleSpeaks.co, because you'll find it. So yes, it's tomorrow from 6 to 7:30.
Okay.
If
Got
you
it.
want to know more information about it.
Sure. Wednesday, 6 to 7:30. Okay, I added that into the chat. Thank you.
Yep, and I'll send you that flyer because it's a Zoom link and I'll send you the Zoom link as well for tomorrow for those that would love to be a part.
Excellent. And I will share that. Thank you.
You're welcome. You guys have an amazing rest of the day. Thank you all for having me. I appreciate it. And remember, be great. Release your greatness in every moment.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rochelle.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you
You
very
have the gift of inspiration.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good
Bye-bye.
day.
Okay, so I am grateful that she could make time for us. When she was first coming on, she was on in a car, and it was like, oh, good luck, may this all work
You're
out.
right.
And then I could see she was walking. So she's a woman who is definitely working on being an entrepreneur and in more places than one at one time. So back to you, Mary Ellen, and then to you, Liz, with just an update. And Melissa, I know you're aware of all the things we're doing. So if there's something you haven't heard, we're just sharing some community events or events that will strengthen the league.
Okay, thank you.
Well, this Friday at the East Branch Library at 10 o'clock, the League Cafe is meeting. And this meeting this Friday is just a social meeting, or where people can talk about the things that are on their mind, So please, everybody come. There's plenty of room in that room, and we just love to get together. And then on the 28th of July, that's our book club meeting, same group, League Cafe. I'm not sure of the place yet. You'll have to watch the updates.
Okay.
But the book we're reading is 400 Souls, and we're taking a kind of potluck approach to that book because it's many stories, 80 different writers contributing. So we're telling folks to just dive into that book, find a story or a part that really interests them, and plan to share that part with the group. So we all don't have to read the entire book. So that's my information.
Okay, good. Thank you, Mary Ellen. Thanks for taking that on. So I put that in the chat as well. And Liz, you have been very busy, and we recently met with the board sharing the DEI report. Do you want to comment on our progress?
Yes, last week we made an initial presentation of the DEI strategic plan to what I will refer to as the outgoing board. And in July, we will be making a presentation to the new board members who are coming in, plus existing ones. Down the road, I don't have a date yet, which is good. We plan to have a working session where those who are interested in, I'm going to say, getting down to the nitty gritty, revising some of the comments that have been made, and just flushing things out where we aren't rushed to do it. We will be inviting people to attend that. You don't have to be on the board for that. You could be a member of DEI committee or just an interested person. But one of the things that I begged for was a 2-month break from doing anything with this, because we've been working on it for about a year. And I don't want to get burned out. Okay. And I felt that the board was agreeable to that. I think that we're going in the right direction and getting buy-in, and Melissa or Patricia could comment if they see it differently or are in agreement.
Well, I'm going to comment on what Melissa put in the chat. She said, great work from the DEI committee on the plan, and the implementation actions is very detailed and encompassing of many things the league can and is doing. And so one of the things we learned during the meeting was that we weren't appreciating enough of some of the work that we're doing to get out the vote, and how we are targeting it in communities that need more representation in our world. And so that was very intentional, and it also reflects using the DEI lens. So we wanted to include more of that in these discussions. Well, I think just one other thing, some of you may have heard that Liz and I are also working with our union, and we went to Orlando, Florida. And when we went there, it was with the American Federation of Teachers retirees. And our new slogan is, I'm retired, can't be fired. And I think that ties in with the mission of what we were listening to today with Rochelle. And I will tell you, we were the only 2 people from Wisconsin out of 200 people attending this Orlando conference. And they were so impressed with the work done in Wisconsin. They really wanted to hear, how did we get out the vote, and what mattered, and how did we build community? And they challenged us with more ways to go forward. So yeah, that was fun. Okay, well, here's my final invitation. So 1 week from today is June 27th. And I am going to celebrate my birthday with friends, and would love to invite you to come. Now, some people don't know how the heck to get to this place. It's called Hart Park. It's in Wauwatosa.
Yeah.
And if you know, there's an outpost at 70th and State Street. So if you're at 70th and State Street, you're definitely in the neighborhood. And just go then 2 blocks further, heading west to 72nd Street, and turn south into Hart Park, and it dead ends at Chestnut. It dead ends at the center, and it's called the Hart Park Community Center, also known as the Senior Center, also known as the Mullner Building. And if you get there at 6 o'clock a week from today, you get free ice cream at Picnic Area 1. I found a band who will be playing inside because I'm donating money to the Interfaith Conference. So they play for free. They love to play for places that are doing fundraising for nonprofits. So my money will be going to the league. I'm sorry, take that off the record. My money will be going to the Interfaith Conference, which has been in existence for 53 years and was started by Frank Zeidler. So I am very happy with the work we do. But if you're outside, there is a group that I perform with called Samba da Vida. And they are going to be practicing every Tuesday at Hart Park. And this is a Brazilian drumming group. And I'm a member. I'm not the greatest performer, and I am not a humble person, but I can tell you I am not the greatest drummer in this group, but they are so much fun. And so that's great. So there'll be music inside, music outside, there'll be ice cream, there'll be lots of appetizers. So I hope you can join me, and let's keep feeling great about aging. It's a gift. It's a
It
gift.
is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you, friends. We will see you next month. We're still seeking ideas on who you would like to hear exchange ideas with us, and feel free to send those ideas to me.
Okay.
Stay
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
folks.
Bye.
We're gonna live our best lives. Okay, well.